Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're going to look at one of the absolutely fundamental, yet honestly surprisingly overlooked, concepts in software quality. And I want you to think of this explainer not just as a dry technical overview, but more like a high-stakes detective story. Because, let's face it, in the world of software development, bugs are basically elusive culprits constantly trying to sabotage your system. And as any good detective knows, if you want to catch a fugitive, you don't just wander around aimlessly, right? You need to know exactly how they think, and more importantly, exactly where they like to hide.
So I want to pose this central mystery directly to you. Where do the most critical software bugs actually hide? Now, if you've ever tested a piece of software, or even just played around with a form on a website, you've probably caught yourself just plugging in totally random numbers trying to break the system. You know, you try a 5, then maybe a 42, then, I don't know, a 99. But let me tell you, just randomly guessing where errors might be is a massive, frustrating waste of your time. It's literally like looking for a needle in a haystack by just picking up handfuls of hay and throwing them over your shoulder. There is a much, much better way to do this.
The answer? At the edges. Bugs are exactly like those fugitives that invariably run to the exact same completely predictable places. They don't hang out in the safe, comfortable middle of a system's parameters. No way. They lurk right at the very limits, right exactly where the system has to make a hard, binary decision to accept or reject something. And if you understand this one crucial fact, I promise you, it will completely transform how you approach software quality.
That brings us to Section 1. Where do bugs hide? And uncovering those edges.
To really grasp this, we need to completely shift our mindset. We've got to stop being passive users who just randomly click around hoping something breaks, and we need to start being proactive hunters. We need a systematic approach that zeroes in on the system's exact breaking points, and that is what we call boundary value analysis. To put it simply, it's a software testing technique where tests are designed to specifically include representatives of boundary values in a range. Think of this as your ultimate detective's playbook. Instead of trying to test the entire range of possible inputs, which, let's be real, is mathematically impossible and a huge waste of time, we deliberately design our tests to hit the absolute boundaries of what the system expects. This is exactly how you catch bugs before they ever make it into production.
Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds. The core testing principle, or the rule of 3.
This rule of 3 is the actual practical engine of boundary value analysis. Once you know where the edge is, how do you actually test it? Well, you can't just hit the edge once and walk away. You literally have to corner the bug from all sides so it has absolutely nowhere to run. I want you to memorize this rhythm. Just below the limit, at the limit, just above the limit, below, at, above. If a system has a maximum limit, you check the value directly underneath it to ensure it passes. You check the exact limit itself to make sure it's handled right. And then, and this is crucial, you check the value immediately over the limit to ensure the system properly rejects it. By straddling the fence this way, you are leaving zero room for error.
So why is this exact boundary so dangerous? Well, because off by one errors are incredibly common. Just think about how developers actually write code. They use symbols like less than or equal to. It is so unbelievably easy for a human being typing fast on a keyboard to accidentally type less than when they actually meant less than or equal to. That single, tiny keystroke mistake means the entire system is going to break exactly on that boundary line. But by targeting those edges directly using the rule of 3, you completely neutralize this notorious pitfall.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next point, Section 3, Real-World Boundary Examples and Mapping the Edges.
It's time to move from pure theory into a highly tactical, real-world playbook. Because sure, theory is great, but we need to know exactly what this looks like when you are staring at a screen trying to validate real software. Let's walk through some concrete inputs. If you have an input field that accepts a range from 1 to 100, you don't test 50, no, you test the lower boundary using our rule of 3, 0, 1, and 2. Then you jump straight to the upper boundary and test 99, 100, and 101. What about an age verification system? Say it requires you to be 18 and maybe caps out at 65. You test 17 to ensure it rejects you, 18 for the exact edge, 65 the upper edge. And then throw in an absurd extreme boundary like 150 just to see how the system handles it. Or what about file uploads? Don't just upload a normal photo. Test a 0-byte, totally empty file. Test a file exactly at the megabyte limit. And then, here's the kicker, test a file that is exactly 1 single byte over that limit. This is how you break software on purpose.
Now, I really want to draw your attention to this number right here, 6. Just 6. This is the massive, surprising reveal of this entire methodology, and it's kind of going to change the math on how you spend your time.
So the crucial point is this comparison. In that 1 to 100 range example we just talked about, those 6 calculated boundary values, 0, 1, 2, 99, 100, and 101, will catch significantly more bugs than an endless stream of random testing ever could. I mean, you could literally sit there for hours typing in hundreds of random numbers between 3 and 98, and you still wouldn't have the absolute mathematical certainty that you get from testing just those 6 specific boundary edges. It's all about working incredibly smart rather than just working hard.
Which brings us nicely to our final part, Section 4, Testing Best Practices, your tactical playbook.
The next time you test a form or review a piece of code, this absolutely needs to be your go-to strategy. We've covered the why and the how, so let's distill this down into the core rules you should take away from this explainer today. Consider this your rapid-fire toolkit. First up, always target the extreme edges. Seriously, just ignore the middle. Second, strictly enforce the rule of 3. Check just below, exactly at, and just above your limits. Third, beware those off-by-1 logic errors. Basically, assume the developer used the wrong math symbol until your tests prove otherwise. Fourth, for file uploads, always test that 0-byte file and that file that is exactly 1 byte over the limit. And finally, the golden rule of all of this: never ever rely on random guessing.
Which leaves us with one final thought to reflect on today. As you go back to your own projects, your development cycles, or your quality assurance checks, I really want you to look at your current habits and honestly ask yourself, are you systematically testing the edges, or are you still just guessing in the middle? It is time to upgrade your approach. Stop hunting for needles in haystacks and start looking exactly where the bugs are hiding. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy bug hunting.